Bringing the people behind our food to life.
My name's Robin Streeter. I moved to Portland probably about 7-8 years ago and met Donna up at school. I graduated a term early, so I went to Idaho to visit my parents and to prune their fruit trees and, you know, basic manual labor you make your kids do. And Donna was still here.
All right, that's a done bed. We were gonna actually do a regular traditional CSA, couldn't find land and couldn't find water rights. Something was always wrong, and
we actually had talked about, you know, maybe it's not gonna happen right now. Maybe we should just go get jobs somewhere when we're done with school. It was very frustrating. She was driving around, started seeing these people's yards everywhere, and got this fabulous idea. Donna realized that people have lawns, they have backyards that aren't being used for anything, and they want the food. And if we do it in their space, they get to see what's happening. They get to know who the farmer is. They get to walk outside and eat.
That day it was just like this hit that you get, that is like that one of those aha moments that you go, of course, why aren't we doing it that way? I made flyers and went to every community board in town, left at like 7 in the morning and came home at noon, and there were 2 phone calls. And it was like, oh, I think we're onto something here.
So she called me up in Idaho and said, you better get back here. If you're in on this, you got to get back here.
Yep.
So
It's real sandy at the top here.
It immediately went from there, and it never stopped.
Good for carrots.
In fact, we sold out our first year. We've sold out our second year. We have a waiting list for 2009 already.
There isn't a farm that is the same. We get to see so many different environments every day. It's never boring. They're all a challenge because each one is different. Each one's soil is different. It just is cool to do it this way.
We have, 7 to 8 farms that we hit a day. Those, you move through them. You have to. And to keep it carbon footprint friendly and sustainable, basically. All of our farms anyway are all done demographically, every one of them.
I think people are more aware of where their food is coming from and what they actually want to feed their family. It's a movement, definitely. I think in some ways it's become almost a status quo type thing. I think that some of the people that could benefit the most from it aren't able to do that because the price of land is so expensive that you can barely afford to buy a house, let alone a house with some area to grow anything on.
So what do you think is the status quo?
It's very popular now to be organic and green.
You think this is a passing trend then?
I don't think it's a passing trend. I think that I do believe that people jumped on the bandwagon because it is something to be proud of, and hopefully they're going to stick with it because they realize that it benefits them too.
it's not just a landscape any longer. It's an actual place that you can feed your family off of, So in the future, it might raise the value of their property or their house. It's going to encourage them to maybe spend some more time with whoever they're living with, maybe a little bit more time spent eating together and talking and outside together, looking at things.
It's incredibly beautiful as the season goes on. It really doesn't matter who they are or what what age they are, or it's about bringing that food home and bringing each other together. Local food is right now where everybody really needs to be at, especially with the way transportation and everything else is going. The more you bring your food home and the availability of it, you're getting good food, where it's coming from. Just in Portland alone, even with the traditional CSAs and what we're doing, and there's a couple other people out there doing other things that are all about urban farming, I think that we don't have enough shares, enough people growing food locally here to support the community itself. I think there was like 2,500 shares or something like that available. That means that only 2,500 people have access to food through our urban farms.
So there's a room for a lot more farmers.
There you go.
Definitely.
Simple.